Ben, mute yourself. Thanks, man. Hey, guys. Game week. See all this excitement, shaved face, let my hair grow out for that big movie star lights. They're going to sit down on my face on a Friday night. It's going to be so amazing with this light that's just going to radiate with the excitement that is finally game week. We've been talking about this forever, and now a time is here. Congrats to getting to this point. And it's a busy week. It's a very busy week. So get yourself in order, Michael Hernandez. Mute yourself, my man. So we're getting back to it. Big week for y'all. Let's go ahead and let's finish this week strong. We've got a great opportunity to work some nice football games this week. We've got an opportunity to where we can make a difference because we, as younger officials, are going to be working. This is our opportunity to shine this week. So just keep that in mind as you start to still look at film this week and you start to look at other things that are taking place. I've got a few plays tonight, about, 15, I think, or so, of different plays to review and to take a look at. Hopefully we can run through a lot of them. There's not many submissions sent in this week for scrimmage week, so maybe that's a little more training when we get out to these smaller schools. And you referees that are on the call tonight, start putting that as part of your pregame discussion. Find out who the huddle coach is and get this huddle sent in because it's going to be important, especially with these smaller 2As, 3As, 4As. They may not be used to sending the huddle in. So we need to go ahead and just start being proactive so we can get our huddle in. All right. Agenda for tonight. There is a 5-man mechanics clinic tomorrow night hosted by Joe Wicker. He's going to send some out here in a few. Evaluations, more again about uniform and hygiene. More on the website and then jump right into place. So 5-man training tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8:25, 7 p.m., Joe Wicker. The Zoom ID will come from an Arbiter Blast. A couple of Joe's topics will be boxing in as 4 officials or possibly 5. Reverse mechanics. I don't know if reverse mechanics are talked about as much as they should be in a 5-man. It kind of becomes a free-for-all. So, he's going to try to hit that as much as possible. And then also, he did tell me one other thing, so I forget at the moment. But it'll all come out. And he's got, I think, a list of 8 to 10 different topics that he's going to try to squeeze in an hour. So just be patient with that, but try to attend as you see fit. I think our evaluations last week of going out to game sites was helpful. There were several young officials that appreciated it and expressed their appreciation. We actually had 1 email sent in to the board stating that. So I appreciate the email that went to the board saying how much they appreciated the on-site evaluations from the gunslingers. Keep in mind, we're only there to help and get you better. It's what you see, trying to get away from what you have. So if we can start to think about what you see, so we can work through what you're trying to call or how you're trying to officiate. We're not really trying to have excuses. Where I was on a crew that wasn't so good last year, I got to have it. Okay, break it. It's pretty simple. We're here to help you try to break that bad habit that you may have developed over your short careers. Okay, if we have got an evaluation on you, our goal is to get it to you within a couple days to a week. We're not going to try to hold it. We want you to be able to grow from that evaluation and get ready for the next game that you're going to have. Okay, just looking at some of the huddle faces Zoom faces today. I still see some beards. Enjoy it while it lasts, guys. I was on the field with a couple beards the other day, and Take them off unless you've got a medical reason that we should know about. I mean, it's your personal hygiene. I'm not trying to get HIPAA, but hey, it's just part of the deal. Nope, none. I miss Covey, but she's gone. I won't see her till later. Paul Aliman, I saw you last week, my man. You got this, you got the neck, you got the mustache, and you got the beard. So have fun with that, brother. It's gonna be a challenge.
I don't
Okay.
think there's anything wrong with that, Eric.
It's gonna be a challenge, man. It's called social distancing at its finest. You do have Young Guns website. I'm gonna keep putting it out there. Bitly, SA-YG. You will find all the manuals. You will find everything you need in there. Okay. So getting back to huddle, communication, appearing pre-snap, post-snap, dead ball, capped. So how we're going to try to evaluate our huddle film tonight and see where we are, see what we were looking at and going forwards. Anybody else that we need to list as a co-host? Brett. Got you, Brett. David. Got you, man. Hey, Joe Wicker. If you're on, I see you're on. Do you have anything else to comment before we get into the huddle? Anything for tomorrow night?
Nope. It's 7 and 5-man training, and we're going to cover multiple topics. So nope. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yes, Don, you have to remove your beard. I can't see it, but yes, you got to remove it. We're not Barnum and Bailey right now. Okay, so share.
Hey, Eric, I got a question for you, Eric.
Yeah, Mike.
Hey, at our scrimmage this past week, we had a young Division IV, I'm not going to mention names, went out and told the veteran officials that that they have to give a defensive substitute signals. And I had pulled the guy over to the side and told him that is incorrect. The signal is only maintained only for offensive purposes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Hopefully he's on there, but I don't know if he's on there or not. So, but I told him you need to get on so you can hear this again, so you know. He was trying to tell the other guys on the way going home. We were talking about it. He goes, Mike, I have something bother me. I said, what is it? He goes, when a defensive makes substitutions, do we give the signal? I said, no, please don't do that. Because then I'm going to be thinking that you're giving a sub, and I'm going to have my hands up, and then I'm looking, and I don't see anything, and the offense is trying to run the play. So just be aware. Go back and look at your mechanics book, and we'll talk about it during the week. And then I have a meeting with my crew every week, so we do it at least once or twice a week to go over a few things, getting ready for this upcoming week. Get prepared. So that was brought up, and I just thought I might let you know. You might want to pass it on to all the 4s and 5s, so they'll be aware not to, be careful what they say to the veteran guys or more experienced guys, just so they won't be into one of those discussions and then everybody's getting all confused, that type of situation. So that's all. No, nothing else.
So you got a chance to hear from a referee. When you're going to speak up, it's good to question, but it's also good to make sure that you're correct. It's all about credibility, especially when you're the young guy and you're speaking up. Make sure it's correct. If you have questions on why it's correct, you can speak up, but you may want to address it in a different manner. Okay? Hey, I think. Well, okay, I think is not necessarily going to be your best response, but the more appropriate question is, hey, I'm under the impression that I'm supposed to put my hands up for a substitution for defense. hopefully that senior official will come back and say, no, only for offense. We don't want to see defensive subs signal, iron cross. They call it an iron cross. We don't want to see iron cross for defense. What you may see from a back judge or a deep wing is they may start moving their fingers by their hips, talking about the number of substitutions. So if they see 1 on, they see 2 on, they see 2 leave, I got 11 right away. I don't have to recount because I know how many people started with the play or ended with the play. So you may see some little minor signals going back and forth with the deep wings. So you might want to start incorporating that. But I saw a few finger counts of 11 on defense. We want to get away from that too. So start using your eyes. Don't use your fingers when you're trying to count 11. Anything else, Thaddeus, that you saw before we jump into some film?
Yeah, Eric, I want to say it's okay to ask questions. It's always good to ask. The younger guys, it's always good to ask questions. If you don't ask, you don't know what's going on, then you're going to be lost. But it's always good to ask questions, between now until the last game of the season, because that's how you're going to get better if you don't ask questions. That's pretty much it. I tell our crew, ask questions. And when I work sub-varsity games, I work with anybody. Usually I have a crew, but I like to bring in a young guy in, and I'll say, hey, ask all the questions in the world. We are here for you. So we are here to help you get better and to groom so you can become the best official as long as you want to learn and take constructive criticism. That's the best thing to do is be positive, even when you're wrong, because we make mistakes too, and I don't have a problem like me. You come to me and tell me, hey, Mike, are you sure, da-da-da? And I'll be thinking about it. So you know what? You are absolutely right. Because sometimes we get caught up in the game and we forget certain little things that, that's critical. So, don't be afraid to ask questions. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, so Thaddeus, you got any other thoughts or you're good?
No, I mean, yeah, Mike was right. I had a couple of questions when I was doing the scrimmage the other day. And, sometimes if you're not for sure, I said, hey, I got the mechanics manual right here on my phone, and you can actually show them exactly what you're talking about. Because, we can always say what somebody said, but they might have been off that day. So let's actually show them, and it makes it easier.
Alan Rojas, I appreciate you on your phone tonight. Thanks, man. I'm glad that you were able to go Zoom on your phone. So, okay, here we go. Let's see here. Share screen. Let's do some huddle. You should have seen your huddle share. Is it showing? Is it showing? Yes? No? Is it huddle sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. All right.
Yes.
So the scrimmage that was sent in is going to be evaluated, and I found a couple nuggets. I only went through the first 25 plays, but of those 25, I found a few things to talk about. So I'm going to let it play. I don't really think a lot of the gunslingers I had a chance to look at either since I put it out so late. So we're all going to kind of work through this process together. What we're looking at, what's the formation, et cetera. And I'm going to probably just operate in the wide angle. Settings. Anybody know how to operate that? You see how I just went straight wide? I went in settings, the sprocket, was able to manipulate what I'm looking for and how I want to do it. So you haven't really had a chance to play with your huddle. Click all the buttons. You're going to see the angles that we're looking for, and this will cut down on what we've got going on here. So undo that. Okay, here we go. We got some communication up here. We got the last guy off. We do know that the last guy in a 7-man crew is sitting on the outside. This is 1. This is 2. I don't necessarily know. Well, we can say this is the first half. So this would be the line judge up here. Okay. So back judge is always going, since this is a balanced formation, back judge is always going to the second guy on the line judge. The strong side is considered line judge side. Could be trips, so you would have 3. But inside guy, line judge side. Okay, Joe's getting Wickers over here. He's getting ready. The umpire is in a decent position. I wouldn't get any shallower than that. I'd stay right about there. And I actually was on a part of a group this weekend that actually had the umpire back here at 12. Made for an interesting game watch, but positioning. So anyways, don't get any closer than 7. You're already starting to creep a little bit. So stay back. That motion man, he didn't even get to the tackle before the ball was snapped. So the keys still remain the same. See that? So head linesman on this side would still have number 8, and line judges still got the running back.
I never see you as a liability.
Referee would have tackle on the play side as it starts to develop. Line of scrimmage guy is looking here. He's got a good stance. May still want to work a little back here a little bit. It's coming towards you. So if you take a step or 2 back this way, that's okay. Just to keep getting you out of being in danger. What I really wanted to focus on was this umpire. He seems to be looking up here. Based on what I've been talking with hearing Phil and Joe talk about, you want to be back in this area. You can tell when this play starts to develop that the umpire is watching forward. See, he's watching the ball with his cap instead of being a little bit more back in this area, because the line of scrimmage guy, he's moving upfield. Referee is back in this area too, potentially. So umpire, you gotta help out with a little bit of that in the back. As you can see now, his head is still looking upfield.
What's wrong with the position of the blue coaches? They're off the line. They're well behind. So what the fuck do you want? You want them back further. That's what
Who's
you want.
talking? This is nice. I like the commentary. I'm not talking about the coaches being back. I'm talking about the football official needs to put his heels on the white. Give yourself some more space. He's got some good movement. The other thing, what I didn't see much of this weekend was, and it's tough with a scrimmage, but it's a habit. And I saw Joseph Bruce start to do it in the comfort scrimmage. He was actually mocking a toss when the ball got outside the numbers. He would just run down, act like he was catching it, and then toss it into the umpire. And the umpire at this point should probably be, I mean, as Joe would say, starting his banana to be able to get to this deep wing. The ball ended up outside the numbers.
Where's my other big water jug? I accidentally left my other one at school in the locker room.
Hey, can we mute that? So what I slowed this one down for is the ball's caught at the line of scrimmage. That's fine. But what I'd like to see is to slow down on the hop along that you can see that this line of scrimmage official is doing. If we can slow that down and just stay there and turn your hips and just,
So there's
he's
one
too
in the
parallel with the play.
I'm trying that underarm.
I mean, you can get to that spot within 5 yards. So just be patient, be still, use your eyes. Ball's on the big line of the 50, middle of the field. Line of scrimmage official down here at the bottom. So we're going to call him H just because it's only play 6.
Can I go outside?
Presence. See how he's right here? If he's back a little further, he's taking himself out of danger. He's not, you know, it's okay to take a step back. He feels himself having to get distance. He's back on his heels because this guy is coming at him. Had he maybe taken a step back this way over here, behind the play, he's got a great cone of vision, and he can pick up that forward progress spot. Because again, it's about 3 yards, maybe 5 yards downfield. By staying back here, you might pick up on a different, you might pick up that they grabbed the face mask. You might see some other things from back over here. He's moving fine when the play is over, and it's okay. But just keep yourself deep and keep yourself out of danger. So, yes, this is the one I was trying to see. This is a perfect job by the back judge being ready to go on that goal line. Good job, back judge. Perfect. Good job. You got a ball out to the flats behind the line of scrimmage. What could we do here differently a little bit? This is a line judge. Line judge is responsible for forward balls behind the line that are thrown backwards. So just keep that in the back of your mind. That's a punchback if you do see that the ball is thrown backwards. Line judge is key. Line judge's responsibility. The H can help as necessary. Throwing from the big line, ball's caught in front, so we don't have to worry about that. Again, line of scrimmage guy, take a couple steps. It's okay to go back. Give yourself some room. Umpire's doing a better job looking here in the middle at this point, so that's pretty good. Like that. Slow down. Slow down on your line of scrimmage guy. I mean, he's starting to move a little bit, but be in such a hurry. What we don't want to see, which I'm assuming you called a hold on the outside receiver. I mean, he locks him up, and the defender tries to get away. You can see that. But do we have any comments from the deep wing back here? What was he saying? Did he have a flag? I didn't see a secondary flag, or didn't have a primary flag with his flag coming down. What you want to stay away from is that this guy makes the tackle. He pushes him out of bounds. So this is a flag that you're going to bank. You're going to put it in the memory bank. If the receiver breaks downfield for a large run beyond this block, well, there's your holding spot where this took place at the 43. But if he's made the tackle, then that's a foul you want to stay away from.
If I could add to that, because that's exactly what I said was there's no advantage gain. So yeah, there's a holding, there's a little bit of a restriction, but not much. So it's not big enough. So since there's no advantage, he makes the tackle, there's no advantage gain, back off. Talk to him, remind him that you're watching.
Eric, start the play over again.
Hey, Robert.
What's going on?
Hey, man. Nice to see you. How far?
That's good. Just from the beginning.
Okay. Let it play?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of choppy. Was that the line of scrimmage guy that had that hold?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to say that's a great job of not ball watching them.
Correct.
A lot of guys are going to be tempted to look back at that runner, but there's nobody around him. Nobody around him. There's no point of even looking at him at that point. And he did a great job of looking forward to see where is the first point of attack and first defender that's threatened. So he does a good job of looking forward in front of the play to see where the first action is. So that's a great job. Whether it was holding or not, that doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's a great job of looking beyond the runner, in front of the runner, because a lot of guys are just so tempted to keep their eyes on the runner at this point. And if he's not threatened, why even look at him?
Agreed. And with this gentleman right here looking down the line, he obviously made a determination that there's a blade of grass for this guy to be able to, this third guy to be on the line of scrimmage and the other two are back. So we don't have a legal man downfield for that particular play. And then looking at this also from a coverage perspective, man zone ball, this becomes deep wing zone as well. So I'd still love to know what his input is here. H does a great job of transitioning. This is his first spot. That's ultimately came from his guy. That was his key.
Yeah, and I would imagine back judge at this point is looking in at that same area too.
Exactly. There's no lineman that's threatening. There's nothing that's coming back this way. So everything is just kind of in front. So, you know, the line judge does a nice job of transition. But yeah, just stay off that foul.
Eric, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, Joe.
We got a forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. That slot guy that you were talking about, it really wouldn't matter if he was on the line of scrimmage or not, would it?
Correct.
Pass behind the line of scrimmage.
Correct. Oh, this one in the beginning, this particular team, they really had a V going on here. So this was play 10. I think your line of scrimmage guys would start to have got these guys a little more in a straight line. Let's correct this measure quickly. Let's correct this alignment by the offensive linemen. They're certainly getting an advantage every time they creep backwards. So let's just move these guys up. this is a little chaotic. But if you watch the referee in this particular play, he's got tackle over here, right? So he's looking opposite tackle. You can start to see that the referee now transitions away from the tackle and is moving towards potentially being offended here. So flips it, no contact to the no real contact. Well, there is some contact there, but not a lot. My real question is, who has all this action back here? Referee is now transitioned over. He's looking more this direction. We've got 3, maybe 4 guys in the backfield over here. Who's going to pick that up?
Instant replay.
I mean, the head linesman's over here, right? Line judge maybe want to start floating down a little bit if he sees that, there potentially could be an issue. It's okay with a couple steps. Line judge his key stayed in. There's no real impact for an eligible downfield. You can see Joe is looking still this way. So we've got 4 guys back here in the backfield. The umpire has now gone this direction. So are we thinking that the back, once the ball is flipped, is the H going back this direction? I mean, how are we to handle a situation like this where we got guys in the backfield and the R is moved away?
In this case, Eric, the umpire is going to have to move up and help with that, because you've got a referee, you've got a wing guy over here, that really kind of have the play controlled in terms of the running part of it. So the umpire probably needs to really step up a little bit and help on that backside, or the line judge on this side. Because these 2 guys down here at the bottom of the screen, number 5, and that other guy, there's really nothing going on there.
Hey, Eric, on that play, can the line judge take a peek and help if he has nothing going on? What Ron was saying, or that could be part of a mechanic, something to talk about, especially in that situation, how everything's going to one side.
Well, so line judge is top of the screen, right? Is he going to be able to look back into this backfield from line judge? That might be a challenge. The other side that again, if he was down here, if the line of scrimmage, if the line judge was down here a little bit more, he might be able to rule, because if he flipped this forward, well, and he not caught, we got an incomplete pass. But this quarterback is throwing maybe a yard in front. So it's a backward pass to some degree, maybe. I don't know. The angles are tough because the angle always pushing. Could be a flat. So the H down at the bottom of the screen, to answer your question, probably should be down here. And
I'm looking at
in the backfield.
Sorry, I'm looking at the clip, and I know it's early on. It actually should be, the H is the one that I meant, that should be maybe be able to give some help over there. Not the LJ, not the line judge.
Yeah. So the side judge has pretty much got this action going on over here as they transition. So, it's just something to talk about as a crew of how you're going to handle guys in the backfield, because I know we got caught a couple times last year with guys in the backfield. And, well, did you see it? No, I transitioned. Well, shit, good thing we got lucky. We didn't see it. Nothing happened. So just start being vigilant of what's happening, guys. This is the zoning that you need to start paying attention to as a crew, or even if you're a fill-in. This is part of that pregame or pre-call weekly conference call. You got to fill in. You might want to pull up a play similar to this and say, hey, I'm going to more than likely be in this area. This is where I'd like you to be. Just so that everybody's on the same page and it's not a surprise going in. Then he gets pushed out pretty good. I mean, the quarterback does get slammed at the end of the play, now that I watch it again. So the referee has every right to be right here protecting his quarterback. And hopefully Joe really laid into him and just said, we're not having this any longer.
That's exactly what I did.
Good job. Joe, is your deep wing on the call? Do you happen to see him if he's on here? Not to put him on the spot, but like to get his input on
No, he's
on
not
catch,
on
no catch.
This is the play that I submitted to you for that loose ball out of bounds.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I wish there was another angle from the end zone, but based on this, I think he has possession.
He did. He took multiple steps, and then he lost the ball at around the 18-yard line.
Joe, was there a beanbag down on that play?
No, but there should have been.
That's how you sell it.
Possess the ball. That's the thing. We can't tell if he possessed the ball or not.
I was there. He possessed the ball.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming by the deep wing's reaction, he had a catch player out of bounds because he's stopping the clock. I can't see a beanbag. It's too choppy.
There is not a beanbag tossed.
Okay. But rather than that deep wing, he's laser focused on where that play went out of bounds. At that point, just stop. Just keep backing up. Keep backing up, and your eyes keep a mental note, 15-yard line. Just keep backing up, and your eyes are on those two guys out of bounds. Because if you're focused on the spot where it went out of bounds, who's watching those guys that went out of bounds? I mean, they could be, doing all kinds of stuff out of bounds. Deep wing, you're not responsible. Your responsibility is not the spot. So just keep backing up and keep your eyes on those guys out of bounds. As your short line of scrimmage guy comes up, you can yell at him 15-yard line or whatever.
Joe, when you have your call with your guys this week, your deep is he does a nice job of running with his head turned. That part is, you have to be coordinated to be able to do that. So he's done a nice job of that. We're at the 50. What I don't know is how much of a backpedal he was in and how deep he was. Because of the time that ball is thrown, he's already in a forward run with his head turned. It'd be easier if maybe he was just a little bit deeper and more focused on his back pedal to keep all of that in front of him, which then would make it easier to turn with the guys that go out of bounds. He can see the catch. He can see the fumble out of bounds. If he's got a fumble, he's already facing backwards, or maybe just turned his hips to be able to rule on that fumble out of bounds. So maybe when you talk to your guy, you're two deeps this week, that you want them to be in a back pedal a little longer.
Hey, James, there was a question that was asked. James, just for clarification, I was not talking about beanbag in a spot where the fumble went out. I was asking if there was a beanbag at the spot where the fumble happened. That's what I'm saying. I can't see if that deep wing ever threw a beanbag for a fumble. And I wasn't asking about if he threw it where the ball went out. It's where the runner loses possession. That's what I was asking.
I got it. Yeah, I think when he stopped it in that last clip, it looked like he did fumble it inbounds, out of bounds, right? But okay, yeah, appreciate it.
I can tell you what happened on this play right here. He loses it at the 18. The ball bounces and goes out of bounds about the 5 or 6. So it's still in bounds on the first when the ball comes out and hits the ground first, even though you can't see it because of the players. It's still in bounds at this point. And then the ball goes out of bounds later on. So, but the point is that a forward, he's out of position. He's not in the correct position to be seeing it, and he ends up eventually with the wrong spot. So everything you're saying, Eric, is absolutely correct. And Robert, absolutely, he should have beanbagged where the ball became loose, not where it goes out of bounds if he was going to throw a bean. He doesn't even throw a beanbag at all, which is one of the mechanic things that we'll be talking about.
I mean,
and one thing too is get in the habit. Try to start getting in the habit too. If you ever pull your beanbag out for a fumble, it's a good idea to kind of get in the habit to yell at yourself 21-yard line, or on this play 18. As you're throwing the beanbag, you're yelling at yourself, "I'm throwing my beanbag to the 18-yard line." That way, when the play's over, you've told yourself what yard line it's supposed to be on. Once everything's cleaned up, you can come back, go look at your beanbag, and take it back and drop it at the 18. Same thing with the flag.
But the other point I was hoping Eric would cover, but I'll cover for him, is that it's a loose ball out of bounds. So on the offense, it doesn't go to where the ball was out of bounds. It goes to where the ball was lost. So we end up with the wrong spot because I don't think my official knew that. So the other learning point, another learning point on this is not where the ball goes out of bounds. It's where the ball is lost at, which is what you said earlier, Robert.
Yeah. Ball fumbled forward and out of bounds, it comes back to the spot of the fumble. Ball fumbled backwards out of bounds, it goes to the spot where it goes out of bounds.
So as you can see on the next play, it was lost at the 18, but you can see where we spotted the ball at the 13. So we basically gave them 5 yards. So that's a learning point.
I pulled this play because of this simple act by the defender, the defensive end, or the tackle, or however they're going to classify this guy. I'm sure he just got really pissed that he got cut, and now all of a sudden he's got a big boy guard that's staring down at him and trying to block him. But you can see the swing by the end. Back it up, I'll go live. See the swing right in the top of the head. Your line of scrimmage guy down at the bottom, he's looking down here. I don't know if he may have saw that or not. You can see here's the contact right here. But that's also in the field of vision of the referee. So the quarterback was never threatened on this particular play. So his vision is still in this area, the referee. The head linesman on this particular play is somewhere maybe here. Could be still at the line of scrimmage because this guy, you're not guarding air, so he may be still back over in this area too. But it's the conversation of that player. Stay off the head. Don't slap the head. Or if you feel that it's blatant enough, well, you can get him for a UNS. That'll shut him down really quick.
Or you can get him with a 15-yard penalty, hands to the face.
Yeah, that's right. But then it was the extra afterwards was the other part of this.
That's true. There was some extra after.
There might be some retaliation. That's what I saw happen.
There
Yeah,
is.
so right there. So, he saw that, I mean, this guard felt a slap to the head, so he just took it out on slapping him by throwing him to the ground. So you as officials can stop this pretty quickly with communication. Because I don't know what happened afterwards, right? The film cut off. So use your words. It's not always going to be settled by a flag. This is the first time they've played since March. No, since, maybe November. So, 12th play, you might want to talk about that. Again, this is another one right here where you might want to start to creep up. The tackles are creeping back, push them up, make them more of a linear formation in the interior. So this one is mostly on the left tackle on this, the top tackle right up here. Again, referee going right up your alley. Now it crosses the umpire's face. You can see here where the hold starts to take place. He ultimately is in the right position, doesn't make the tackle, so he fights through it. So that's one of those ones you can put away. I pulled this one up just for the fact that back judge, you don't have a spot foul on this particular play. Let your line of scrimmage guys work upfield to get this spot. That's why we're running like we do. Nice burp.
Hey, Eric, can we go back to that play number 12, man? Right at the end of that play, it looks like that player pushes that guy from the back. Do we have anything on there, even though he actually already scored? Because it came from the offense.
You
Right at the
can.
end,
You
can
can.
see it.
You talking about right here?
No, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is probably retaliation from getting slapped in the head.
No, that wasn't the guy from the second. That was from the push from the back. It looked like a push from the back.
Well, I don't
75 threw him down after he got slapped in the head. We went over and talked to him and just let him know.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, we told him, knock it off. We're watching you guys. And, this kind of behavior continues. It'll be a penalty.
number
Coaches were
75.
on him too. So it was, let's just keep the game going, game management. We could have flagged it, but we decided to talk to him since this was the beginning of the scrimmage, and that's the way we handled
Okay,
it.
I understand what you're saying. That it was the beginning of the scrimmage, but let's say it was a real active game. We were like at a real game that would have been called.
It's up to you. See it both, because if you get one and not the other, you're going to have to deal with it for the rest of the game. See the slap in the head and then see the retaliation afterwards.
Okay.
So you've got two fouls on that play, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one's live, one's dead.
Okay. Yeah, because it's after the play. Yeah, you're right.
The ball's dead right now, right? He's crossed the goal line. Play's over. Neither Joe, looks like you got some discussion points with your deeps about spots. Find that spot, relay that to your guys coming upfield, so they can continue to back out.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, on that long play in the middle, you can kind of see the back judge and the deep wing both running up to get the spot.
Yeah, and from previous fumble out of bounds, the other deep, he comes up too. So, that's a little bit of a pattern or trend that I think you can easily discuss and get that out of your repertoire.
Also, too, Eric, like the position with that guy the outside official there, he's right in the middle of that white. But this year, remember, they're gonna have room to go all the way to the 10. Shouldn't be playing a little bit further back to make sure to keep those coaches away from there.
15.
Are we talking about which play number are you talking? 20 or 21?
21.
Okay. 21.
Right at the end there, that official there, he's like in the middle of that white there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be playing a little bit further out. Make sure those officials the coaches will be back.
So
this year they're going up for the 10 to 10, right?
They are going, well, TASO or UIL is allowed to go to 10s, but it has to be agreed upon ahead of time.
Okay.
So, NCAA is 15, regular is 25. So
Right.
I don't know what each site is going to require or what they're going to agree upon until we get to that site, unless your referee can reach out to the coaches ahead of time and say, hey, what are we doing? Are we going 10s? Because if we're going 10s and you got chains, say this was the visiting side, you're pushing those chains back behind the markers. And what we told the coaches both Thursday and Friday was, Coach, you want to be down to the 10, you're going to be behind the chains.
We did the same thing at this scrimmage.
But something like on that right there, and you say we talked about the pregame, so that be from the ref and the umpire go out there and talk to the coaches.
Yeah, or ahead of time, meaning during your pregame, during your conference call during the week. The referee's gonna have to call, hey, are we playing football? Maybe the news hadn't got out that you got a bunch of positive cases. So are we playing football or not? And by the way, what are we going to agree upon? 10, 15, 25? What are we doing? Just so you can have that to discuss and how you're going to handle that. But I don't think any coaches are in the way right now. In this part, they're pretty clear over here. Even
I'm just saying that if, I was told at that scrimmage to play further back, regardless.
When you get inside the red zone, you're playing deeper. Inside the red zone, you're going to play back deeper to give yourself more space, more cushion, more safety. When you're out here in the white, a lot of guys are starting to push away from that line, being right there on the edge. They're starting to work their way back. It is a preference. But if you can get yourself an extra 6 feet of cone, widen out your vision, you'll be able to see more, especially when you're trying to move. Being able to see more as a young official will slow the game down for you. That answer your question, Gilbert?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here.
Hey, Eric, one more thing too on that play. I mean, that line of scrimmage officially, he is in pretty good position as those players do go out of bounds to see what's happening out of bounds too.
Agreed. He does. But just be patient. Oh, that was the other thing. This particular play, what I did see, watch at the very end. I'll see if I can freeze it. He's in good position. He realizes the ball's going by him. Yay, 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 yay. I'm there. I'm slowing down. I see he's out of bounds at the 19. Where's his head go? His head goes down to the 19. See? Instead of turning with the players out of bounds, that's just reps. That's all that is. So know in yourself, know and trust your eyes. He's going out at the 19 and just turn. Turn with the players.
Hey, Eric, we're at 6:27, just FYI.
Okay. Good spot. Deep to be in position to rule on the play, but and then I'll move on. What I suggest, you see how this official is back here? That's a good spot. That's where you want to be. You're out of harm's way. Change, you want to push him back behind the markers. This official here, down at the bottom of the screen. He creeps up. Just stay back. You don't stay back. You're creeping up. Your line of scrimmage guy here has this line. Okay? He's going to have, whether it's in bounds, and you're going to confirm with him if it's a tight play on this sideline. You're going to look back at your line of scrimmage official. You guys are going to nod, he's in, or no, he's not, and you'll give the wave signal. So stay back, don't creep up. Keep giving yourself that angle. All right, guys. Thanks for attending tonight. Appreciate you. Have a great night, and call me if you guys need anything. Have a good night. Murphy, there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Eric.
Okay, I got